Every door on this street is marked. The mark means the same thing on all of them. There is a child in this room. In 5 days, you will know whether she lives. It begins in the mouth. By the 3rd day, it is on her face. By the 5th, the skin is not skin anymore. You cannot cool her. You cannot touch her. There is no doctor alive who can help you. So they mark your door so the neighbors know. This is not a plague year. Nothing unusual is happening. This is Tuesday. For 3,000 years, this is simply what it means to be a human being. It takes about 1/3 of the adults it touches. It takes more than 8 in 10 of the children. It is in the skin of Egyptian mummies. It is older than most of the gods people have prayed to about it. And in the 20th century alone, it will kill 300 million people. More than every war of that century put together. Smallpox. Here is the strange part. The thing that ends it is not a laboratory or a government or a war. It is a country doctor, a milkmaid's hand, and an 8-year-old boy who is never asked. London, 1715. A woman lies in a bed she is not expected to leave. She is 26 years old, famous, brilliant, and covered in it. Her doctors tell her husband to prepare for the worst. She lives. Her brother did not. The disease takes her eyelashes. It takes her skin. When she looks in a mirror, the woman looking back is someone else. Her name is Mary Wortley Montague. And 2 years later, she is going to see something that nobody in England will believe. Constantinople, 1717. The first thing she notices is the skin. In a city this size, she should see the marks everywhere. She does not. So she asks. And what she is told is almost unbelievable. They open the vein, they put in the pus. They take smallpox from someone who has it, and they put it into a healthy child on purpose. And the child gets a small version and survives and never gets it again. Mary writes it down and sends it home. England does not want to hear it. It comes from Turkey. It comes from women. It comes from no university at all. So Mary does something that should horrify you. She has it done to her own 5-year-old son. He lives. Even that is not enough. So in 1721, they run an experiment in Newgate Prison. 6 condemned prisoners are made an offer. Take the disease deliberately, and if you survive, you go free. All 6 take it. All 6 live. But the doctors want to be certain. So one of the women is sent to a house where a child is dying of smallpox. She sleeps in the bed beside him. Every night for 6 weeks. And nothing happens to her at all. The royal family are inoculated. Overnight, it becomes fashionable. Across Europe, parents begin paying to have their children infected, because the alternative is waiting for it to happen anyway. And then sometimes a child does not get the small version. Sometimes the cure kills them, around 1 in 50, which is better odds than the disease, and still means that somewhere, every year, a mother agrees to have her child infected and buries them for it. This is the best medicine on earth for 75 years. And then a country doctor notices something about milkmaids. Berkeley, Gloucestershire. A village doctor who is not famous and never expects to be. Edward Jenner rides between farms. He delivers babies. He sets bones. And for years he keeps hearing the same thing from the same people. The milkmaids do not get smallpox. Look at their faces. In a country where almost everyone is scarred, theirs are clear. They catch something from the cows, a few blisters on the hand, a day or 2 of feeling unwell. And then, apparently, nothing can touch them. This is not Jenner's idea. Farmers have said it for generations, and it is country talk. Nobody has ever tested it. He decides to find out. The 14th of May, 1796. A milkmaid named Sarah Nelmes has cowpox on her hand. She was infected by a cow called Blossom. Jenna takes the fluid from it. And then he turns to an 8-year-old boy. His name is James Phipps. His father works in Jenna's garden. Nobody asks the boy anything. For 9 days, he is a little unwell. And then he is fine. And that is the easy part, because a mild reaction proves nothing. To know if it worked, Jenna has to do the other thing. On the 1st of July, he brings James Phipps back, and he infects him with smallpox. Real smallpox. Live. From a patient, understand what this is. If the theory is wrong, this child dies in about 10 days, and there is nothing Jenna can do about it once it is done. So he waits. Day 3, nothing. Day 7, nothing. Day 10, nothing. An 8-year-old boy has just been made immune to the disease that has killed more human beings than anything else in history. He will never know that. He will live to be an old man in a cottage Jenna gives him and die quietly, and almost nobody will write his name down. Nobody asked him. Jenna writes it up. The Royal Society refuses it. So in 1798 he publishes it himself. He calls the material variolae vaccinae, from the Latin for cow, vacca, which is why 2 centuries later we still call it vaccination. Within 3 years, it is translated into 6 languages. Within 5, over 100,000 people have taken it. It moves faster than anything in medicine has ever moved. And it is not Jenna's idea. At least 6 men used the same principle before him, quietly, on their own families. He is simply the one who proved it, wrote it down, and told the world how to repeat it, which is the difference between a rumor and a cure. And that should be the end of it, except that within 4 years, half of Europe believes the vaccine will turn their children into cattle. 1802. A cartoonist named James Gillray draws the most influential picture in the history of medicine. In it, people queue for the vaccine and cattle burst out of their bodies. Cows from the mouth, cows from the arms, a woman with a calf's head where her face should be. It is a joke. It is also, for a great many people, an explanation. Because you are asking a mother to let you cut open her healthy child and put an animal disease inside them. Say it out loud and see how it sounds. Some say it is against God. That disease is judgment, and you do not argue with judgment. Some doctors fight it because variolation is their income, and Jenna has just made it worthless. And some of it is not superstition at all, because for decades there is no factory. The vaccine is passed arm to arm, child to child, which means that sometimes, along with the cowpox, you pass something else. Syphilis, infection, occasionally death. The people who did not trust it were not always wrong. So in 1853, Britain stops asking. Vaccination becomes compulsory. Every infant, by law, refuse and you are fined. Refuse again and you are fined again. Refuse enough times and you go to prison. And in a town called Leicester, in 1885, 100,000 people march against it. They carry a child's coffin through the streets. They burn Jenna in effigy. Their argument is not really about medicine. It is about a state that can hold your child down. That argument has never once gone away. But underneath the shouting, the numbers do something remarkable. Where vaccination goes, the disease retreats. Where it stops, the disease comes straight back. By 1900, smallpox is vanishing from Europe entirely, and in most of the rest of the world, nothing has changed at all, because a vaccine is not the same thing as reaching people. In 1966, 170 years after Jenna, Smallpox is still infecting 15 million people a year. And someone finally is going to say something insane. Not that we should control it, that we should hunt it to the last human being on Earth. 1966, Geneva. The World Health Assembly votes on something that most of the men in the room think is impossible. Smallpox is still endemic in 33 countries. 15 million people a year. 2 million of them die. They approve $2.4 million to eradicate from the entire planet the deadliest disease in human history. Not reduce it, not control it. End it. The American doctor they put in charge does not want the job. He takes it anyway, because nobody has ever done this before. There is no manual for killing a disease. The plan is simple and, it turns out, wrong. Vaccinate 80% of everyone. Get the numbers high enough and the virus runs out of people. In cities, it works. And then you reach the last 20%. The people who live where roads do not go. The people who move with their animals. The people who do not want you. And it only takes one. One child missed in one village and the whole country reinfects. 10 years of work undone in a season. And then, in eastern Nigeria, a young medical missionary gets a radio message. His name is Bill Foge. There is smallpox in a village 8 miles from the nearest road. He goes to look. It is smallpox. And he does not have enough vaccine. Not close. The shipment is months away. So he has to choose who gets it. He gets on the radio and asks the mission stations to send runners out. Find every village with cases and report back. And when he looks at the map, he sees something nobody has seen. Smallpox does not move fast. It moves person to person, house to house. It needs close contact. Which means you do not have to vaccinate everyone. You only have to vaccinate the ring around each case. And the virus has nowhere left to go. He tries it. He has no authority to try it. The outbreak is dead in 3 weeks. He has just found the thing that ends smallpox. The second thing they need is smaller than a matchstick. Someone takes an ordinary sewing machine needle and cuts the eye open into 2 prongs. Dip it, and it holds exactly 1 dose, every time. It uses 1/4 of the vaccine of any method before it, and you can teach someone to use it in a few minutes. Anyone. Anywhere. At night you boil them, and in the morning you go again. It is the cheapest, dumbest, most important object in the history of the campaign. And then they turn all of it on India. More than 100,000 workers. Every month, house to house, not a clinic people come to. A search. They carry a picture of the rash and they ask one question in every house in the country. Have you seen this? They offer money for a reported case. In a poor country, that is a powerful thing. 100 million houses. Again the next month, and the next, and the dots on the map begin to go out. The 16th of October, 1975. Bola Island, Bangladesh. A 3-year-old girl develops a rash. Her name is Rahima Banu. Within hours, the machine descends. Every house within 1.5 miles is visited. Guards are posted. Everyone she has touched is found. She survives. And she is the last person on Earth to catch the killing form of smallpox. The strain that took 300 million people in a century ends in 1 house, on 1 island, in 1 small girl who lives. After 3,000 years, variola major is gone. And there is still 1 place left. The Horn of Africa, Ethiopia and Somalia. The milder strain, where there is a war, where there are no roads, where the people you are hunting move every few weeks and do not want to be found. This is the last corner of the world the disease has left. It takes them 2 more years. And it ends because a cook in a coastal town offers a stranger directions. Merka, Somalia. A coastal town. October, 1977. A 23-year-old man is working as a cook in the local hospital. His name is Ali Mao Marlin. He also works part-time on the smallpox campaign. He helps vaccinate people. He himself is not vaccinated. Not because he doesn't believe in it, because he is frightened of needles. On the 12th of October, a family stops him in the street and asks for directions. They are trying to find the hospital. There are 2 sick children in the car. He gets in to show them the way. The drive takes about 15 minutes. And that is all it takes. Days later, he has a headache, then a fever, then the marks. On the 26th of October, it is confirmed. And what happens next is the largest response ever mounted for one human being. Everyone he has spoken to is found. Every house he has entered is visited. Every road out of the town is watched. More than 50,000 people are vaccinated in 2 weeks. He is told to stay at home. He stays at home. He could restart it. One man, one town, and 3,000 years of history begins again. He does not infect a single person. And he survives. Ali Mao Marlin is the last human being on Earth to catch smallpox naturally. Nobody knows that yet. Because you cannot declare a disease dead. You have to prove a negative. So for 2 more years, they keep hunting. Every rumor, every rash, every corner of the Horn of Africa. They offer a reward, $1,000 to anyone anywhere in the world who reports a genuine case. In a region where that is a life-changing sum of money, nobody ever claims it, because there is nothing left to report. The 8th of May, 1980, Geneva. The World Health Organization declares the world free of smallpox. There is no explosion, no parade. A committee signs a piece of paper, and a thing that had killed human beings since before we had writing stops existing. Today, there are 2 places on the planet where smallpox still exists. A freezer in Atlanta, a freezer in Russia. That is all of it. Every remaining particle of the deadliest disease in human history, in 2 boxes, under guard. It has no host. It has no future. It exists because we have not yet decided whether to destroy the last of it. And here is what this story is actually about. The knowledge was never the hard part. Farmers knew about the milkmaids for generations before Jenna. It was ordinary country talk. And while it was ordinary country talk, children kept dying in the same villages of the same thing. Somebody had to test it. Somebody had to write it down. And then somebody had to carry it, house by house, for 180 years, to every human being alive. That is the part nobody tells you about. The cure was the easy half. If you were born before 1980, look at the top of your left arm. There may be a small round scar there, slightly sunken, about the size of a coin. Almost everyone your grandparents' age has one. It was the most common mark on the human body. And if you were born after, you do not have it. Nobody your age does, because there is nothing left to protect you from. That mark is disappearing from human skin. In 50 years, there will be almost nobody left carrying it. And when the last of them is gone, the only evidence that smallpox ever existed will be in books. Ali Mao Marlin spent the rest of his life vaccinating children. He would tell people he had been the last man to catch smallpox, and that he had been too frightened to take the needle, and that they should not be. He worked on polio, in the hardest parts of Somalia, for years. He died in 2013, still doing it. He is buried in Merka, in the town where the world's oldest killer finally ran out of people. Every revolution in this story began the same way. Someone looked at a problem the whole world had accepted and refused to accept it. That is what this channel is about. Not dates, not names to memorize. The moments when everything changed, and the people who paid for it. There are more of these stories coming, the ones that built the world you woke up in this morning. If you want to be there when the next one arrives, subscribe and turn on the notification bell. It is the only way you will know. I will see you at the next revolution.